to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. This week's guest is five-time All-Star, Stanley Cup champion, and left winger of the Legion of Doom, John LeClair. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Nasty Knuckles. What's going on, Nasty?
What's up, Riggs? How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. Enjoying the heat and the playoffs.
And the playoffs. Speaking of heat, holy
crazy,
cow.
eh? A little electric.
Crazy. Yeah, lots of action, man. It's been fun to watch so far. I know we're only one game in each series, but it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's the truth. Some fire. I've caught bits and pieces of a couple of these games. Caught the Landeskog Schenner Tilly last night. Some whatever I'm seeing is some good energy. And again, you said it's only one game deep, but looking forward to the rest of it.
Lots of OT games too, which is, I love that personally. A lot of people just want to go to bed, but man,
yeah,
OT like has you on the edge of your couch, man.
Oh yeah, nothing better.
It's awesome.
Just got to play these games a little earlier so I could actually stay up late enough to watch some of these endings.
You're getting through the first periods of games, so that's that's
pretty
all right.
much.
I'll just tell you what happens, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You can get the text messages in the morning. But how about the full barn in Carolina?
Dude,
that's pretty amazing.
I honestly, this is how crazy. So I was flipping around. I went to it, and I actually thought it was a last season or a year before, like just something from years before. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is right now. It was awesome.
It's crazy. Awesome. Yeah. Finally, right? You get that true energy back in the barn.
Yeah. And that's a, to me, that's a home ice advantage right there for Carolina. That place they were going nuts, man, the whole game.
Oh man.
That is a fun place when your team's good.
Yeah.
North Carolina, because it's not a place where you normally go and there's like 12 to 13,000, but when they make the playoffs, it's like Florida. Florida's the same way, the Panthers.
Yep.
When they were in the playoffs those years, like it gets loud, and sometimes they're just cheering to cheer. They may not know, not
entertainment to them, right?
Exactly. So it's just awesome because it's so loud. And even in Vegas, I know they dropped their first game, but when that place is sold out, I'm not sure everyone understands the game totally just because it's new there, but it's loud the whole time. It's the loudest building I've ever been in, man.
It's energy, right?
It's energy, exactly.
Right on. Well, I think we should, cut the playoff talk short here today. We'll be talking more about this as the series move on, but we got an awesome guest here, John LeClair. So I think it's time we just jump right in and talk with the big dog.
All right. Well, this episode with John LeClair, episode number 23, is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. It's playoff time, big stakes, bigger promotions. It's time to hammer the over and score some cash. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you a chance to lower the over-under on a featured playoff game. All players who place a bet on the featured basketball game will have a hand in lowering the over-under on the game. That's right. For every 1,500 players who bet the over on the selected game, the over-under will drop by 1 point. That's a lot, Riggs. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's a lot.
Every bettor who hammers the over in the featured game helps to lower the game's over-under. The best part is that even as the line lowers, the odds remain at even money, which is huge. That's right. You can double your money by hammering the over. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code KNUCKLES when you sign up to hammer the over. For every 1,500 people that bet the over in the featured game, the line will decrease by 1 point. Yes, this is your chance to improve the odds of the over hitting, so tell your friends and family this is a team effort. Hammer the over and improve your odds of doubling your money. That's promo code KNUCKLES for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only. Restrictions apply. Max $25 wager, one per customer. Offer ends 5/23/21 in partnership with Meadows racetrack and casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to another episode of Nasty Knuckles. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. And this week we are pleased to have the first American-born player in the NHL to have 50 goal seasons 3 years in a row. Big Philly fan favorite, JL, Mr. John LeClair. What's up, Johnny?
Not much, guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you joining us, man.
Good to see you.
What's going on, man? What are you up to?
Not much, obviously I think with everybody else, spend a lot of time at home, getting the lawn looking as good as possible, that kind of stuff. It's been nice that it looks like we're, a little bit of the light at the end of the tunnel here. We're almost there. So, I think everybody's getting excited about that. So it's been good.
That's awesome, man.
Nice. You got your roots planted in Delco?
Yeah, they are. We've been in Haverford now for 20 years or plus or whatever. We've been here a long time. I like it. We got a lot of friends in the area, and it's a great place to live. I've enjoyed it. It's been nice. People are great. Delco's getting some much love lately between the mayor of Easttown and there was another movie that came out. A couple of my Delco buddies told me about. It was on Netflix or something. Being Delco is not as bad as you guys make it out to be.
Hey, my daughters live over there, man. I know the area. They went to Haverford, so I know where you are. It's nice over there for sure. Rumor has it you've been playing a little men's league hockey.
I do. I love it. I'm having a ball. I'm fortunate enough. I hooked up with a group of guys, and it's the same group of guys we play every week. They're all a lot of fun to hang out with and just be there and stuff. But when I retired, I didn't play. I was like, I had enough of this shit. I don't need it anymore. I'm done. And they had that outdoor game with all the alumni played.
Yep.
And I'm like, kind of want to play in that. It'd be kind of cool, play outdoors in the stadium and all that. So I had to get my fat ass going and get on the ice and kind of do something. And I found out that I like it. It's fun to play and just kind of screw around and have some fun. And it's frustrating because you can't do the things you want to do anymore. I mean, you used to be able to get to that puck and be able to, stick handle and stuff, and things just don't work like that anymore when you don't play every day or whatever. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had some buddies telling me that I think John LeClair is playing over at the stadium, or I don't know which rink you're at, but that's what someone told me, and I was just like, I wonder if he's using the same curve as he did when he played. He's still using those sticks?
I am. Not the same sticks. I mean, I'm a dinosaur, but I'm not that big of a dinosaur. No, I Sherwood's been good to me. They still send me some sticks, so I curve them up, and I still got pretty much the same curve going. Yeah.
I like it. The guys you play with in the men's league, like, look at that thing and he's like, holy shit, man.
No, they don't. No, like I said, it's a group of guys. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
And what are they going to say?
I mean, it's just, I don't mean like giving him shit. I just mean like, it's Riley. I don't know if I've ever shown you one of his sticks, but I mean, you look at it and you're like, holy fuck, man, this thing, I think you could play right or left-handed with it. The way it's turned, but
it's got a little twist to it.
Johnny sure as hell didn't have any problems with that stick.
Yeah, I know, right?
Man. Oh man!
Yeah, I think the last time I saw you, Johnny, we played in a game there in Voorhees. It was for some charity, and you were ripping it up there, shots in the blue.
For Proppies thing.
Yeah, Proppers thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See,
and you look good, man. Right? You were high stepping.
I don't know about looking good, but it's fun to get out there and mess around.
It is absolutely a lot of fun.
It's just I don't know. You miss it. That's kind of, you don't play hockey because you hate it. You play because you love it.
Yeah,
so I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now you're still pretty active in some of the alumni stuff. I see you around some of the events. I mean, I know obviously COVID threw a wrench in a lot of it, but you're fairly active in some of the stuff with the alumni.
I try to be. I mean, if I'm available and I'm around, I don't mind. I think Marshy's done a terrific job with the Flyers alumni stuff. I mean, even if you can't go, Marshy's got everybody up to date on what's going on, begging guys to come. So you kind of, he's doing such a good job. He's working so hard at it. He puts a little guilt trip on me, at least. I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
I feel like whatever I can do to help the guy out. But it's fun, like we get the golf tournament and the hockey game playing the Warriors, which is going to be a great cause coming up.
Yeah.
That's
right.
It's fun. You get to see those guys. I don't see these guys every day. You see them maybe once or twice a year, and it's kind of fun to just bullshit and see them and laugh. I mean, it's not a chore to go and hang out with these guys.
No, right. It is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you get that coming up. That Warrior game should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said, Marcy does a terrific job with that alumni and with that whole Warrior program. I mean, those guys, talking to those guys, there's some crazy stories and, really some remarkable stories with those guys. And I tell you, they're into it. Those guys, they don't pass with that.
That's big time for them.
They're traveling out to Vegas to play in tournaments. They're looking for anybody to play.
Yeah, they are.
So it's fun. They stink something awful, but they don't care. They have a great time.
They got 3 teams, I think.
Yeah, they have 3 now. I do, Johnny. A lot of those guys come into my shop. I do a lot of their skates. They're fine.
You're doing a shitty job.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I can't see the skates. There's nothing you could do to help them. Some of them.
It's got to be the shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're great guys, like you said, Johnny, and they love it, man. I mean, they treat it like they're like pros, man. Like they have such a good time, and they're practicing every Sunday, and they do all this stuff. And like you said, they always want to play. Like they're trying to get games all the time. And I don't know if they've announced it, but they got that big tournament. I think they did announce it. They did. November, teams coming from everywhere. Yeah, man.
Are they really?
Huge. Yeah. Like
it's going to be here in Philly.
Yeah. It's going to be all the Jersey rinks, I guess. And it's that big one that they went to in Vegas. They're having it here. So yeah, they're really fired up about that.
Nice.
But Johnny, like, man, I don't even know where to begin with you because you did so much in your career. But I want to start with when you came to Philadelphia, if you don't mind. Probably, what people say the best trade ever for the Flyers, getting you and Eric Desjardins, Rico Desjardins. I said that to him every day. He probably was like, "Get this hyper kid away from me." Because every time I saw Rico, I'd be like, "Rico Desjardins." He'd be like, just laughing. He's probably just going, "Get the fuck away from me, dude." But Johnny, you came in, and I mean, like, it was almost right away. I mean, it was a shortened season because we had that was the lockout, half year, and I think we had played 8 or 9. I can't remember how many games, but you came in, and Rico came in, and I mean, wow, the turnaround was crazy. Like, what were your thoughts on all that? Like when you came in from Montreal?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I got traded, you're disappointed. I won a cup in Montreal. Montreal was an hour from my house. I mean, I grew up watching the Canadians. Anytime you get traded, I think you're a little disappointed. But once we got on the plane coming down, just very excited to be here in Philly. New opportunity. Obviously things worked out really well with me. I had a chance to play with Eric and Rennie right away. So it wasn't like, they were screwing me. I got a great chance to do something right off the hop. And just fortunate things worked out for me in that way and things took off. But I mean, you look at that trade and you kind of look at like the Flyers, like, when we made that trade, we became actually pretty good. We were a good team. We made the playoffs, and then we were always in it for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And the key thing is, like, everybody's like, "Oh, you came and you scored 50 goals." But everything worked around Eric Desjardins. The power play, the penalty kill, 5-on-5, every defenseman that came through the ranks over those 10 years, they learned everything they know from Rico.
That's right. You're right.
I mean, watching, like, everybody, like, Eric, obviously superstar and all that. But without Rico in that lineup, that team's a big different team. So it's a different team, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was so good, man. I mean, he did everything, like you said. He did it all: power play, penalty kill. Like, he just 5-on-5. Like, he was just. It seemed like he never made a mistake. Like, I mean, he was just so good, so smart, and God, he was good. He scored big goals too, man. Like,
exactly.
He was, don't sell yourself short though. You had a lot to do with stuff too, but the chemistry was amazing. Like, right away, you guys obviously were just clicking. I mean, it was crazy. I think you had 25 goals in a short. I can't remember exactly how many, but
There was a lockout that year.
Yeah, it was a shortened year. Yeah.
9 games in Montreal. I played 9. I don't know how many you guys had here.
Yeah.
And then I came here, and like you said, I scored 20 something, whatever. But yeah, I was on fire playing with those two guys. You know, playing with Michael and Eric. I mean, we had immediate success, and you know, things got rolling pretty quick for us.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I mean, you guys you guys were dominating for years. I mean, it was crazy. It almost, I know nothing's easy, National Hockey League, but some nights it actually looked easy for you guys. I mean, and I know that's not the case, but you guys were just the chemistry, the clicking. I mean, just everything, man. It was fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, I bet. I was gonna say, you know, the 3 years that you scored 50, when I was looking at your stats there, I didn't realize that you'd played all 82 regular season games in those 3 years. Obviously proving that you're a very durable guy. And then I think 2 more seasons after that, you played another 82 games. You know, was there something that you did? Like, were you training a certain way, or was that just like, you know, just like pure beast mode?
I mean, you know, the mentality, I think, of a hockey player now is, you know, the same as it was. Just it was a little bit more gung ho back then. Like, you know, you played through a lot of shit back then. You played through a bunch of stuff yourself. I mean, you've seen guys that, you know, they limp into the rink, they get warmed up, they stretch, and they go and they play a game and they play well. I mean, you know, part of it was that mentality. You're there to play, so you play as much as you play every night. I mean, I had a great streak going. I don't know, I think I had maybe, you know, like you said, 4 or 5 years, whatever, played every game or whatever. But then things really went to shit after that. You know, I got hurt like 3 out of the 4 years after that. Missed a ton of games. So, you know, just like I said, I love playing hockey. Like, it was never a question I didn't want to play. If I could play, I was going to play. You know, that kind of thing. You know, now the guys are resting and, like, you know, they've got a little thing here. You know, it's different. The game's much skilled. Guys are, you know, they're just a different little mentality. And I get guys are taking care of themselves and being smart. You know, there's a shitload of stuff that guys went out and played that wasn't smart. It just wasn't smart to go out and play like that. But, you know, like I said, it was a different mentality, different time. You know, I think that's kind of why you have that.
I remember, Johnny, we were playing in the playoffs and you sprained your ankle like really bad. We were playing Tampa, I believe.
Yeah.
And I mean, you come into the rink, Riles, you should have seen his foot. It just looked like someone took a sledgehammer to it. It was, and this guy played, I'm pretty sure he scored 2 goals. I think we won 3-1 that night. I don't even know. He barely could walk into the rink and he gets that skate on. And I mean, people don't know those sort of things about you guys, because you're not going to go to the meeting and be like, hey, I played with a, you know, hurt ankle, but it was amazing. Like, I'll never forget that as long as I live. Like, I've told that story 100 times. Like, I could not believe you were able to even skate, but you were a warrior, man. But that was awesome. You're right. It has changed a bit though. Like you were saying,
I just feel back then, guys that never took care of themselves as well as they do now. I mean, there was certainly a few, but there's so much emphasis on, you know, strength and conditioning and recovery, and that doesn't guarantee you're going to play 82 games in a regular season either, right? I mean, the fact that you did that for how many years is impressive. Whether it was just like an act of God, and you know, obviously in that era, it was still pretty clutch and grab, and, you know, bigger bodies floating around, and obviously you're a big one yourself, but I just think that's pretty amazing. I just know, like, you know, how much of a grind it is, you know, to begin with, and then to be able to endure that, and not just endure it, to score 50 3 years in a row is pretty amazing. So I just wanted to
really amazing.
Props to you for that. And then you did, you know, a couple 40 goal seasons, and you know, obviously that line obviously was something else. So pretty
LOD. Now after you, Johnny, we had a Legion, but it was called the Legion of Poon, not the Legion of Doom, with Scotty Upshaw and Joffrey Loops. So they were called the Legion of Poon.
Oh, really? Okay, didn't know that, but
that was it. It comes up all the time. I see it all the time.
That's funny.
But they didn't have quite the success you guys had on the ice. Maybe they did off
the ice.
They had a lot of talks off the ice.
Okay. Okay.
But anyway, those guys are good buddies of ours. They're
Flyers
awesome,
never
man.
recognized them for that. So
They didn't. I don't know. They got him out of town.
Well, I guess that's how you recognize that.
Loops ended up going with for prongs. Actually, I think he was in the pronger deal.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, but anyway, that was the other Legion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me and Roz were talking too about it. Something I never really got to talk to you about. Like, man, you won a Stanley Cup. It's unbelievable. You won it. One of the best places probably to play hockey, Montreal. I mean,
No kidding.
obviously I don't know that, but you do, like you said, growing up and then you played there. What was that like, man? That had to be that's a dumb question, but what was it like, man?
Yeah. I mean, growing up an hour from there, every Saturday night I watched Montreal play on Hockey Night in Canada. I knew the tradition, obviously, in the late 70s when they were winning cups year after year, I was watching and just glued to the TV. Watching because that was the only hockey you could watch was them. I actually grew up a Bruins fan, but I watched just to watch hockey. You had to, you watch Montreal play. The other cool thing about that was the old Montreal Forum. I mean,
Right.
That place was a cathedral. It was just, it was so cool to be in that building and just be in that locker room with all the history and everything behind it. And then win a Stanley Cup in that town. I'm sure it's great everywhere. You win a Stanley Cup.
Right, yeah,
There's no
yeah.
bad place to win a Stanley Cup.
True, yeah.
But, I just think, Montreal, they do appreciate it. There's just a little bit more sophistication to it. Like they know kind of, even though they got their 24 cups, I don't think they take it for granted. They celebrated like that was the first one too. And, obviously your career's over, you look back, it's a great thrill of my career, obviously to win there in Montreal, but it's incredibly disappointing that, the height of my personal career, we couldn't finish the job here in Philly. And
So
I
close.
think we
close
had
couple
two or
times.
three teams that could have and should have won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I agree, man. You guys, I left, went to the Phantoms. Even your first, I think we went to the conference final that first year. The Devils ended up beating us. We fought back and tied that series. You guys fought back and made it 2-2 because we lost the first two at home. And everyone's like, "Oh, this is over." We go into Jersey, Rouse. The boys pull off 2 wins. Now it's you're back to even, and it looked like we were going into overtime in Game 5, and then Pepe buried one from the blue line, came across the blue line, scored one late in the third. But anyway, you're right, man. And then, you guys go to the finals in 97 and that didn't work out. And even when those guys came back and with the Devils that series, that was the year I thought you guys were, I thought that was the one you guys were going to win it. But you still great years here, man. But I understand what you mean, though. But how we were talking also about you played for Pat Burns, right?
I did play for Burns. He was my first coach up there.
How was that? What was he like?
I tell you what. Well, after I left Montreal later on, I got a chance to spend some time with Burnsy, and not a lot of time, but just get a chance to on a friendlier note, not player coach.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. Got along great. We had great conversations. Great guy. But as a rookie coming out of college to Burnsy in Montreal, he was tough on me, which is great. I mean, there were some things that absolutely paid off in the long run for me. But he was tough. Burnsy's tough, and it's his way or the highway. He's got that cop mentality that he's not taking any shit from anybody, and if you're not going to listen, then he'll do it through force. He's just I liked him. I only got 2 years with him in Montreal, but he was good.
Yeah,
I would have liked him to play me a little more, but those things happen.
I was gonna say, when you won that cup there, obviously we've had a couple of guys on here with Stanley Cups, and we always ask about the leadership group and going on that roster when you won. I mean, some pretty significant players and names from Patrick Waugh, Dan Foose, and everyone in between. Can you talk a little bit about the that core leadership group and being on a team that wins, and then versus not that when you were at the Flyers had a poor leadership group because you guys came so close several times, and maybe even compared to maybe the modern day Flyers, like the current day Flyers, and maybe their lack of that core leadership?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge believer you got to have experience to do things. Like you can't win without having a 20-year vet and things like that.
Right.
But when we did win in Montreal, we had a great mix of everything. We had Guy Carbonneau, to me, was a great captain. I mean, rarely said stuff, but when he did, people listened. I thought Carbo was a very smart hockey guy. He knew what he was talking about. He wouldn't just say things to say things. Patrick and Nat, Patrick never spoke that much, and when he did, a lot of passion behind it, a lot of feeling. And he backed it up. I mean, Chris, game 4, he came in the locker room. He goes, I don't care how long it takes, they're not scoring, guys. I mean, it's game 4 of the Stanley Cup. He tells you they're not scoring, and he means it. It's just like,
yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome,
the guy puts that kind of confidence in everybody in the room, like that. And then you guys had some other leaders, like Mike Keen's a huge leader. You had Rob Ramage, we got at the deadline, that was a big leader. Then you had, like you said, Dan Foos, JJ Daniel. We had a lot of guys.
Yeah, I forgot about JJ. Yeah.
We had a lot of guys that had a lot of experience on that team, and it helped. We were down 2-0 to start the playoffs that year. 2, and we lost both at home, just like you were talking about. We lost both games at home to Quebec, and guys didn't panic, and that's kind of what it was. You look to those guys and just. And it's not like you got to say anything. Just you can tell the body language, you can tell the feeling, just the conversation. It's just nobody's fake about it and that kind of crap. It's like no big speeches. It was just kind of those guys, like they they had a feeling. You got a guy like Kirk Muller. Just you hang out with him, he's laughing, joking, nothing's changed because he's not worried. He's like, we're gonna be fine. So those are the kind of things that It's not speeches. It's not, a guy going out there fighting somebody or running a guy. Those are things that happen spontaneous, that it means more than when it's set up and that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's quite the lineup you guys had there. And then, I don't know if you have watched the Flyers closely this year or not, but I just we always talk about we always talk about what's where's the holes, like what's the missing piece and stuff like that. But to me, I love G as as a leader, and they have some other leaders, but I just feel like that surrounding cast, like that, the little entourage is not quite there from some of the teams that have won Stanley Cups in the past. Like there's just not enough support in that role, and I just feel like there's just like you said, like that confidence where nothing really needs to be said. We just know you're going to go out there and do it. I just feel like they almost do the opposite, where they almost find ways to crumble. And I don't know, from my experience, I'm just always thinking that maybe it's just the lack of, I don't want to say experience, because there could be some really good young leaders, and you've seen that with the old Edmonton Oilers teams and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just wanted to see your take on that from, if you observed anything.
Just from watching. I mean, obviously they got off to a great start, and they were doing well. They've had, there's some personnel problems they had or whatever, but as far as the thing that you're getting at with leadership, what really struck me is the last 10 games watching them play.
Yeah.
That looked like a team that didn't give a shit. That looked like a team that hated their coach. They didn't take much pride in much. It didn't look like there was a whole lot of energy. And I get it. The playoffs are out of reach, but there's also some pride in your team and your teammates. And I don't know. There's a couple of games. I'm not saying every game, but there was a couple of games I saw it just this is garbage. They don't even want to be there. And it's kind of, you wonder. As far as the internal leadership with Voracek, G, and those guys, I'm not around there. I don't know them. I don't know them that well enough to even comment on that. They could be, it could be other things that are going on. I'm not there, so I don't want to comment on that.
Sure.
I'm just going to comment on what I saw, and it was the last. I don't know. I don't think that would have happened in my years here in the Flyers. I can tell you that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at least you're gone down swinging. You're not necessarily in the fight, but
That's
just you just go down with some jam.
I played on a shitty team. When my first year, when I got out of here, I went to Pittsburgh. We were terrible.
Yeah.
And but it was just guys, have some pride, and we weren't winning every night, but we were at least putting an effort in. I mean, it wasn't like we weren't giving points away. I mean, we were outmanned, but we were still, guys were working hard, fighting for spots next year or whatever they wanted. But Guys came to play.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you weren't just laying egg after egg after egg like they had like those last 10 games, like you said. Like, how bad is the egg going to be tonight? It's like you almost go into the game wondering how bad they're going to blow it. But yeah, it's just it was a kind of a frustrating season for for everybody. But just like the way they started and showed that they had some hope and some jam there out of the gates, but then it's kind of slowly disappeared. So I just wanted to get your opinion on that. Just being around like legitimate leaders and legitimate teams that know how to win. It's almost like they just found ways to lose almost, especially towards the end. They at that point already thrown the towel in. But
and to me, the biggest indicator is, look at all those games at the end here. They always fell behind, and then when it's out of reach, everybody wants to play and get their cookies.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's the most bullshit thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like I can remember playing on some U.S. teams and stuff like that. Brett Hall wouldn't go play the last 10 minutes if we were beating the team, but he's like, I don't need that out of there. We're playing like those U.S. tournaments. Like, I don't need to be out there for what, Because he's like, we got another game in 2 days and stuff. He's ready to go. Like that. Like Holly didn't want the extra, the open net and shit like that. He wanted to play. It's about winning.
Yeah.
And if you look at those last 10 games with the Flyers or whatever, like I said, they always fell behind by 2 or 3 goals, and then all of a sudden, they lose by 1. But that wasn't the game. It wasn't like they gave a goal with 5 minutes left because the game was tied all the way through.
Right.
Yeah, I know for sure.
It was frustrating. It was a frustrating year, disappointing year, I think, from what we saw last year. Pretty good run, ran into probably obviously a better team with the Islanders. And I think everybody's expectations were really high this year. I know it didn't help losing Niskin and Johnny, but Niski was really good for Provy. But one guy, like your season can't go to shit like
But if
that.
you look at those 5D, take Provorov out of that equation. That's Niskin was what they were missing big time more than anything.
Yeah.
Because all those guys panic every time. They unbelievably panic.
Yeah.
And look at how they played last year. Look at like Myers and like all those guys.
Yeah.
They had decent ends. Like there was a promise. There was a lot to look forward to.
Right.
And it almost like they went backwards this year because they had nobody really to kind of learn from. And you learn more from your teammates and doing stuff and talking with them on the bench and playing and stuff than most coaches. Those coaches can help you with the X's and O's and stuff. But as far as growing yourself as a player and things like that, a lot of these guys learn from like a solid veteran who's not going to panic out there, who can make them feel comfortable.
You said that perfect, Johnny, because someone had asked us before, like what was so good about Niski? I was like, I was only there for 46 games last season, but he was so calm and he kept, he's not a very loud guy, but he didn't have to be, like you said about some other players, but he did keep everything calm. He did fit in with Provorov really well. But he kept the kids like Sanheim and Myers. He was so calm. And there were times on the bench where he'd be like, boys, relax, everything's fine. Little things like you're saying. And I was hoping that wasn't going to make, you can't maybe say that it was just that reason that they had a bad season, because like you said, like it looked like some guys had kind of just maybe, I don't want to say quit, but it just got ugly. It got ugly as it kept going. It wasn't pretty, that's for sure. But anyway, I was just thinking about, Johnny, you were talking about, you had a few years there where I think your back was bothering you. And Riles, I don't know if I told you this, but our old good buddy, God bless him, passed away a few years ago. Chris Felix, he was our medical guy. Kat, you knew Kat, Riles. One day Johnny was getting ready to come back, and he comes down and he's got his gear on. He says, "Hey, throw your gear on. We'll go out and play." So Johnny's going to play me and this kid that worked for me, Jordan. And then Kat was in net. We're just 1-on-2, right? And so Johnny's like messing around. We can't even catch him, obviously. But he comes in there. We've been playing about 20 minutes, and Johnny takes kind of a half slapper. Obviously, you don't want to get hit with it. Well, Kat, as he called himself, El Gato, when he was in net. That's what he called himself in net. El Gato. Yeah. So Johnny White got the stick back, to take the shot. Well, Cat's already putting the glove up because he's gonna blow it by him, right? So he gets his hand up and he closes it, and the puck hits the outside of his glove. Cat fucking throws the glove off, and I go get the puck. He stopped it. He's lucky as hell, but it hits the outside of the glove, which I didn't know. I thought it hit the inside. Throws the glove off, grabs his hand, and Johnny's like, Jesus, I'm sorry, bud. And I'm like, come on, Cat, get up. We're playing. He goes like this, and blood squirting out of his finger. Fucking broke the tip of his finger. Blood's fucking flying. Johnny's like, oh my God. He felt so bad. But
I felt bad.
I fucking laughed just because I'm going, oh, and he goes like this, and blood's fucking flying out of his hand. Oh my God.
The worst part of that was watching Cat walk around with a bandage about this big on his fucking finger.
Well, you wanted everybody to ask what happened.
Exactly.
I took one of Johnny's shots.
And exactly.
The old corn dog.
Loves telling him that I'm the one that took that shot that did it to him. Yeah, exactly.
Johnny, his son Colin won the national championship this year.
Yeah.
With
UMass. Yeah. I saw Colin play a couple times with UMass. Good player. Plays hard. Yeah,
plays
really
hard.
Good
player. Yeah, me and Neil Little went to Pitt to watch.
Oh,
we watched we watched the semifinal game. We weren't able to stay all weekend, but we went up, got to see him play. It was awesome.
Good.
It was awesome. He played really well.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. So speaking about Holly and USA, man, how cool is that 96 winning the World Cup, man? That was awesome. I got to hang around in the room there for that week. You guys were in Philly, man. And I was on the bench for the game against Canada there. What an intense game, man. That game got wild right away, man.
Yeah. I think so you were the playoff, the final round then. Is that when you opened up with the fight?
Well, it was before. Oh, wait.
We played them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right. Yeah. It was a game.
We played them first here, and then we both won our pools.
That's right.
And then we had one here and then two in Montreal.
Yeah, that's right. My fault.
And then the one that opened up here for the finals, Chucky, Billy, all those guys started off with a brawl.
Yeah.
But it was, honestly, that set the tempo. Those guys, I don't give a shit what you think. Yeah, you're not going to push us around, and we're not scared of you.
Awesome.
We lost. We ended up losing that game, but we came back and won the series. And
yeah,
that was some of the best hockey. I was a part of, being a part with all those guys. That U.S. group was awesome to be around. They're all great players, but it was a good group of guys too. We had a lot of fun that month for the World Cup.
I remember being in the locker room there the one day. I don't know what the hell, probably putting towels away or something. And some of the boys were in the hot tub. And at the time, that's a big hot tub, right? At the center, because the building's new. This thing looks like a damn pool. Billy Guerin comes in, does a damn flip. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going to break his neck right into the pool. Does a flip right into the pool. There's other guys in the pool too, Rouse. You know that pool. Yeah. But that was cool. I got to do the World Cup in 2016, and it went absolutely the opposite way that it went for you guys. Right. My God, I was so pumped. It was still a great experience, but you got to play in 2 Olympics as well. I was fortunate enough. I got to go to 2010 as an equipment guy, and that was probably the highlight of my I don't say career, but my working in hockey. It was the best 2 weeks.
It was Vancouver, right?
Yeah, it was Vancouver, and I mean
close.
I know we won every game to the final game, obviously to the gold medal game, but even that game.
Great team though too. That was a great team. That was a great Olympic team you guys had.
It was so much fun, man. God, I can only imagine getting to play like yourself, like you did, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Olympics are fun. I mean, when we went to Nagano, we didn't do well. It wasn't good from the get-go, but it was on us too. We didn't play well. We just didn't play well. But the whole Olympic experience and being part of the Olympics and say you're an Olympian and stuff like that, it's very cool. I don't know if you can see in the back, can you see that torch?
Yeah.
So when we did Salt Lake, they have different athletes they run through the torch to get it all the way out to Salt Lake. So I got a chance to run like a quarter mile or whatever with a torch and be part of the relay.
Did you
awesome.
take your time? Did you run as slow as possible just to take it there?
Yeah, they put a pace with you because they don't.
Yeah.
You got to hurry it, but you got to,
Yeah.
you can take your time a little bit and then soak it in.
I might have moonwalked a little bit with that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. But so and they give everybody a replica, which is kind of cool.
That's really
cool.
When we went to Salt Lake, we got to the finals gold medal game, and obviously the gold's everything. Silver walked away with the medal. That's okay, but it's being a part of the Olympics it's a cool experience. And I mean, you probably saw it, like you're down in the cafeteria with all these other Olympians from all these different sports and stuff, and it's something that's really cool.
It was a cool. I remember. I mean, obviously, I wasn't playing. I was the pigeon. I'm doing equipment, but I just remember going out on the bench, and then it hit me like seeing the Olympic symbol all around the rink, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is like what I've watched, since 1980. The Miracle on Ice, and just every year, everyone basically watches the Olympics, and I just remember like pinching myself going, this is amazing. It was the best time I think I've ever had for 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah. I can't say I know anything about that.
I may have had a little bit too much fun a couple nights, but it was Vancouver. It was Vancouver. So.
Oh yeah. You landed up at the Roxy, I'm sure.
Couple times.
Johnny, I was going to ask you, going back to your Flyers days, I believe you played for 5 different coaches while you were there.
Seemed like 500 at times.
Yeah. Was Terry Murray? Terry Murray was the first coach.
Cash? Did you count Cash as one of the coaches?
No, I did.
I told you Cashman as
Cash coached for about 2 weeks, didn't like it. Just, don't want
to So 6. Oh man,
that's right.
Man. That's incredible.
Cash was awesome. He's an assistant coach though, and he knew it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be a coach.
At least he's honest.
I'm done, boys.
Yeah. I think you had the most success with Terry Murray as far as point production.
I mean, maybe when I first got there, Terry was the coach. Terry played the hell out of us. I mean, we were kind of clicking, and there was nights where Terry played us. At that time, we played 20 minutes or more. That's a lot. I mean, now you get, crazy, some guys playing 25 minutes and stuff like that. I don't think we ever stretched it like that. But, we played a lot. He put us out there a lot, put us in a lot of great situations. So I don't know what the numbers are, but it wouldn't surprise me if I, had most of it with Terry. But I had some other guys that came through that were good. Like, I mean, Roger, there's not a better guy on this earth than Roger. He was awesome. And he he made hockey a lot of fun, laughed a lot.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He was a smart guy. I know, like, he had his own way of doing things, but he made coming to the rink a lot of fun.
He Johnny, I think you knew this. I had him in I was with him in Florida. My very first year out of college, I was in Florida, and being around the rink, how guys talk, you kind of lose the F-bombs. It just whatever, you're around guys. But I couldn't believe Roger didn't swear. Hey, Riggs? Like, he didn't swear, and it made me laugh, because the reason I laughed, because he'd be like, cheesy cripes. He would say stuff like, for crack's sakes. He would say stuff like that. And I'm like, what did he just say? And then I got to know him, and it was funny. I would give him rides all the time. He would come to the rink super early, and sometimes he'd ride his bike. Sometimes someone would pick him up, I guess, but then I would take him back home at lunch, and then he would ride his bike back to the rink to watch hockey all night. He would sit at the rink and watch games all night. But he was one of the nicest men, I mean, I've ever met. Like, he was just such a nice guy, and he made me laugh. At one night, I can't remember his. I think he ended up. I'm not sure if he ever got married, but it was his girlfriend, and she had come down, and he came into the medical room, and he was like, "Sudsy, cheesy cripesies." I was necking with Kathy or whatever her name was last night, necking. He's like, like they were kissing. He goes, we were necking last night, and I'm sore. My neck's killing me. And my old man goes, you were doing what? And he's like, we were necking, kissing and stuff. And he's like, oh, Roger, did you get lucky? Oh, gee, crap's sake, Sudsy. Just stop. Just fix my neck. It was just, I just loved him. He was such a nice man.
Yeah.
God bless him. He was a good dude.
And you played a couple years.
He's got the all-time best story, though. Did he ever tell you the story when he got fired, and they made him in Toronto, and they made him coach that night?
No. What? No, I never heard that.
The gist of it, the details are hysterical. And I don't know all the details. Like, he told it to us though one night. We were just sitting around talking and stuff. He gets fired in the morning after the morning skate. Goes, all right, he goes home. They call him at 4 o'clock. They go, we don't have a coach. We need you to sit on the bench and coach the team tonight.
No way.
And he went? And he went?
Yeah, Roger went. Did it.
Wow.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that just shows
exactly.
his character, man.
Oh,
Probably
my
proud
God,
as can be,
that's so
dude,
funny.
right? I mean, he's just such a good human.
He was.
That's incredible. I never heard that.
Dee, were you with us when we went up to his cottage and had training camp in Peterborough?
Yeah, I was with the Phantoms, but I was up there. Yeah,
That was funny.
that was fun.
Who was the dumb prick that ran Paul Healy?
Which guy?
We had to run Paul Healy.
Oh, Paul Healy. Yeah, Heater.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a training camp up there, and Roger's having a cookout. And part of the cookout is we're going to do. You can either do a 30-mile bike or a 6-mile run time. It's kind of your summer, and you're in shape. You got to come back and they time you and see if you were in shape coming back. And I guess Healy did the run, and the kid was in phenomenal shape. Like, he just unbelievable. And so he went running, but he made a wrong turn. I guess he ran an extra mile. Still came in like third.
He ran an extra. He was in good shape, that kid. He was. That's right. Oh,
But
my God.
yeah, it was just kind of cool being up at Roger's cottage and all that. We were in
Yeah.
Peterborough. Peterborough's a small nice little town. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We told the story. We had Friggy, right? Friggy on the podcast a while back. And the first time I ever saw Fridge, I didn't know who he was at the time, because I think you guys, like you and Danny McGillis, and someone handed us some cash, said go get some lunch, because we drove up a little earlier than you guys, and you guys came in and we had everything set up. So we had time before dinner. We had a meeting at dinner around dinner time back at the rink, I think is where we met. But either way, so me and Turk and I think Joey Rivera Hedgehog, he was working with me at the time. So and Rusty Pearl. Rusty was with us.
Yeah.
So we go to the bar to get something to drink, and we look over at the bar, and it's like 1 p.m, and there's this kid sitting there. He's got long white hair. It's down to over his shoulders. Turns around, his teeth are everywhere. He hadn't lost them yet. And he's got a dart in one hand, and he's got just a straight up like whiskey drink. And he's drinking.
Professional athlete for you. Right?
And I just remember saying, "Good God, I feel like I should like pay for that guy's drink, man. He looks like he's in rough shape." So fast forward 4 hours, we go into the meeting, and I see this kid come walking in. I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Rusty." I'm like, "That's the dude that was sitting at the bar. He's a fucking kid. He was like 19 or 20. I don't even know how old he was at that time, but that was the year too, Johnny. You probably don't remember this, but they brought a guy in named Gary Kupal for camp, and he had been banned from fucking every league in the world.
I remember that. I don't remember him, but I remember that story for some reason, like the Kupal thing. Yeah.
He had a shaved head. He was banned from junior hockey.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
And so he was on Eric's team. I don't know if you were on Eric's team, but there were 4 teams.
Right.
And anyway, we had Steve McLaren. We called him Stone Cold Steve McLaren with the Phantoms, and he was really tough. So him and Coop had fought before, so they like line up and they fight, and it's right where I'm sitting at the bench, and all you hear is just these two just pop all over their heads. But Coop took the worst of it. He comes into the thing, takes his helmet off. He had knots. I had to open his helmet up all the way just to put it back, and then Woody McLaren is like yelling over, "That wasn't a good one for me. Let's go again." And Coop's like, "Okay, buddy, no problem." They drop him again as soon as they come out. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here, man?" It was crazy, but yeah, that was fun going up there. That was actually like we had to drive. That wasn't much fun, but I got to fly back with you guys though, so I kind of got lucky there on the way back. But that was a lot of fun, Johnny. Actually, it was funny too. Quick, Roger was in Florida. We had the big meeting. There were close to 80 guys at that camp because it was a inaugural season, and there were so many players. And he had a meeting, and he's like, "I don't want you guys fighting against each other. The preseason games are for that." Puck drops. There must have been 20 fights that day, in the 2 games.
There was all kinds of fights.
It was a shit show, man, in Florida. I mean, I remember saying to my dad and one of the other guys, Gordy Herbert, I was like, Roger told him they can't fight. And he's like, they're going to fight because they want to make the team. And I know what he told him, but trust me, he ain't going to say anything to him. But God, that was my first camp. And I'm like, these guys are on the same, like, they're killing each other. Every guy's trying to make it, but it was crazy, man. Oh man, it's different, a lot different back then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Back then.
You Nasty brought up Friggy. John, you gotta have a good Friggy story, because this guy, man.
There's just so many. I mean, it's almost like you can't believe some of the shit that he does.
That's it.
There's not a guy I play with that made me laugh more than Friggy.
I agree. Really
isn't. The dude puts a smile on my face every time I see him. He was a great teammate. Obviously, I appreciate everything he does on the ice, sticking up for you, and and Friggy can play. Friggy can see like the wind.
God, he was a freak.
He's powerful.
Freak athlete, man.
Do it all. The brain couldn't realize and register everything sometimes, that he just get a little lost out there. But he physically could play the game really well. But obviously the stuff too, sticking up for his teammates, what he did was awesome. But yeah, the guy's just, between when we had the new skate zone, they had the cold tub and the hot tub there.
Yeah.
Friggy getting down. He probably told you the story, did he?
No. I'm just.
No. So there's a cold tub and a hot tub, like one, so you go back and forth around. They're pretty good size, and guys would be going back and forth, so it was all tile and it'd get wet. Well, Friggy found out that he could slide on it, so he came like running in and sliding on his feet, big entrance. Well, then he upped it. He'd get naked and come flying in on his belly like a seal.
Oh God!
So he does that one day, and Hitch is sitting in the hot tub. So Friggy comes flying in like a seal, and he's looking up at Hitch, and Hitch is just like, "What is wrong with you?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Fridge! What are you doing?" Oh, that's great.
It's just there's like I said, every day he was doing something.
Yeah.
He always makes you laugh or smile. He was a great teammate.
Yeah, still to this day, he hasn't matured one bit. I mean, and I say that with respect because I love the guy to death. But he just like pulls shit of his ass, like he was like 17, 18 years old again. There's just no.
He is a child.
Yeah,
he's
forever.
He's
a beautiful
child.
Yeah. Oh man,
he's funny. We were also another thing real quick about Hitch, Johnny. Did he ever tell you were playing the wrong way?
Yeah.
Jesus, Johnny, what the fuck?
All the time.
Fuck.
All the time. Yeah.
I remember Scotty Upshaw was telling me the one time he's like, he calls me in and he says, "You're out of the lineup tonight." And he's like, "Why? Our line was great last night, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "You're playing sideways." He goes, "What the fuck does that mean, Hitch? I'm playing sideways. What the fuck does that mean?" And Hitch is like, he's like, "Well, you're just not playing the right way." He goes, "We were awesome last night. We had two guys. He was playing on the fourth line at the time. They had 2 goals and I guess they had a really good game or whatever." But he goes, I'm not sitting tonight. He walks out and he played.
Nice.
Yeah, he played.
Well, that's what
it was against us. It was against us. Yeah, Flyers. Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't stick up the Hitch, then he just steamrolled. That's why.
Yeah.
You really had. You had to. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hitch is a very good coach. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. But I did not enjoy him as a coach.
Well, I only had him for about 9 games, and then that was when you too. Yeah, Roz was there. But I was lucky because he was really good to me, and he called me. The guys made fun because he called me Young Derek, what's up? But he was so nice to me, and then he would walk down the hall and someone would say hi to him, he wouldn't even talk back to him, But I was lucky because he loved Johnny Stevens, so Johnny was like, "This guy's my guy," blah blah blah. So. Okay. Whatever, but I've told this story before, but I got to tell you this because you probably never heard it. But quickly, we're playing in the Devils in the old building, Continental Airline Arenas, I think is what it was called. And something happened in the morning. There was a flood or something, and so I call Hitch, and I'm like, "Hey, I don't know if we're gonna be able to skate. They got all these people, they're ripping stuff up." And he's like, "Well, I'm on my way in, so we'll check it out." So I'm like, "All right." So he gets there and he sees it's a shit show, and he's like, "All right, call Patty and tell him to leave the gang at the hotel and we'll go over things there. Right. So I'm like, okay. So Harry and I start taking the jerseys down, start putting the game stuff up. And he goes, young Derek, what's that song? My hips don't lie. I'm like, what? And he says, yeah, that song. I was like, Shakira? He goes, yeah. He goes, put that on. And I'm like, okay. So I plugged my what were they then? iPods?
Yeah, iPods. Yeah.
Things are gone. I put the iPod on. I find the song and I put it on. Johnny, he stood there the entire 4 minutes of that song, however long it is, chewing bubble. You know that we have that double bubble. It loses its flavor. He must have eaten 40 pieces in the 4 minutes. He just kept doing it, spitting them out. But the thing is, he like had his hands on his hip, tapping his feet to the whole song.
Really?
And the whole song, chewed about 20 pieces of gum. And then he goes, all right, guys, see you tonight. You know, and we just, Bricks and I just looked at each other and go, what just happened, man? If anyone would have said, I wish I would have had a phone that recorded that.
That would have been awesome. I mean, that would have been legendary.
What's that song? My hips don't lie.
The thing is, though, I can picture that the whole foot tap with his hands on his hip. Yeah. You can just picture Hitch doing that. It's just too funny.
Oh, it was amazing, man.
That is too funny.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah, he was. I saw him a couple times swing back into the boards there, and some boards moved, and I saw twice beer in a guy's hand go right in his face because of Hitch.
Really?
Oh my God. Well, he would do that all the time. He had his arms, and he would lean back and hit the glass. And I saw twice fucking beers and people are banging on the glass.
Test that, yeah.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
What a beauty. There was a pretty good story with him and Freddie Meyer upstairs in the weight room. Hitch would get on his bike and do his hour cardio and read the paper and hardly even sweat, and then he'd get off and he'd do his foam roller routine. He comes off the one day and he looks at the foam roller, and there was like a little dent in the side of it, and he looks at Freddie. He's like, Freddie, he's like, Are you bending these foam rollers? Are you over rolling or something like that? And I was trying to push the blame on Freddie. I was like, whoa, settle down there, Chopper.
Wouldn't Freddie play at 165?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, jacked 165. Yeah. I was like,
pump the brakes in. Yeah. Oh my God, man.
Yeah,
it wasn't Freddie, man.
All right.
I don't think Freddie bent that thing.
No.
I very much doubt that.
Oh, that's so funny, man.
Yeah.
He's remembered, though. I tell you what, Hitch will be remembered wherever he goes.
Yeah.
He makes an impression, good, bad, or indifferent. He makes an impression.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. Chief, Craig, obviously, Chief worked really well, but he played for Hitch, and he said he
did he coach with him in St. Louis?
No.
Hey, back in the day in the Western League, right? Hitch?
No, he played for Hitch.
Yeah. Back.
No, he said, did he? Yeah, he said, did he coach with him in St. Louis?
Oh yeah, no.
I said no. But oh man, he had a couple good stories about Hitch, but he liked Hitch. He liked Hitch and said he learned quite a bit from him. But
yeah, he's a smart guy. I don't think he's a great human being, but I think he's a pretty good hockey guy.
Right.
I respect him as a hockey guy. He did a good job coaching us here. I didn't always like everything, but I respect what he did and why he did it and things like that. Like I said, though, as a person, he treated a lot of people like garbage for no reason. I mean, I don't, as a person, I'm not a big fan, but
right.
He was a good coach.
Yeah, I had that experience too. I respected his hockey sense, but there was some holes in some of the conversations. I only had him for 9 games too. Like some of the conversations I had with him, I think it just comes back to having, say, experience. Like you never played the game, so you can't. I just can't believe some of the things he said to me, like as if he had experienced some of these moments that he was talking about. You know what I mean? You don't know what it's like to fight. You don't know what it's like to lose a fight. You don't know what it's like to go back and fight once you've lost a fight, So like some of the conversations I had, I was just like, you lost me. I mean, I'd rather just sit here and talk X and O's and learn the game a little bit more, but please don't talk about, what it's like to dig in the trenches and get your and then go back and do it again. But, so it was just a disconnect, but, you obviously, I mean, I got to respect his track record and what he's accomplished, but there was just some little bit of friction there, personality wise, where it just you kind of lost me. You kind of lost me just the way you treat certain people, the way you talk to certain people. But
well, you could see it that year. He didn't have anyone on board at the beginning of that year. I mean, not that the team, it was a tough year anyway. It was the worst team in Flyers. I shouldn't say worst team, but worst record in Flyers history.
That was tough.
That year. It was a tough year.
That was the year after which year was that?
It was 2006, I believe. 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
It was the 40th year of the team.
Right.
So it was a tough year. Clarkey stepped down. Homer stepped in and then made some really good moves. And next year we were in the conference finals.
Right.
Against Pitt. But anyway, it was. I had a couple good funny stories in my 9 games with Hitch anyway. So the hips don't lie. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Yeah, that's something else.
I almost fell over when he's upstairs. You want to speak into my good ear? What'd you just say? My hips don't lie.
What's scarier is you had that on your iPod. Nasty.
Well, that's true. That is. You have to remember, I'm not making excuses, but I had daughters. So there was a lot of things on there. There were a lot of things on there that
is a good point.
I would have to skip. I would have to
skip. Heard you play it before,
right away, which is something else. I got it right here. I was just listening to it.
No, honest to God, you know what I mean? Times I had to like fast forward, a song would come on and be like Beauty and the Beast, it's just like that because the girls would listen.
Get Hitch all excited with those songs.
Yeah, Hitch, he loved it.
Little dance party.
Love Shakira. Hey, I'm just happy you liked Shakira.
Oh, well, who doesn't?
I don't know if who wouldn't, shaking her hips anyway. Hitch wasn't shaking that good. He was just tapping the foot.
Little toe tap.
It was
He's a toe tapper.
Oh, Johnny. So we go play golf. Me and Homer, myself and Hitch go play golf. And I'm hearing, he's a really good golfer, right? And not to be mean, but it's hard to look at him as a specimen and think that he could play golf. Okay. By looking at him, I'm definitely not making fun of him, but I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So we go play. Hits his tee shot, Johnny, so far left, and we're playing one of those linked courses. You're not going to find the ball. I mean, it went so far left. Homer actually put his down the middle. I didn't do too bad. I was able to find my ball anyway. So I'm like, Hitch, I jump out of the car and I'm like, Hitch, I'll help you find. No, I got it, young Derek. And I'm like, all right, there's no way this guy's getting up that hill and finding that ball. Well, somehow the ball ended up just in the rough to the left. He hit that, Johnny. He hit that ball so far left, and so he goes, found it. And I look at Homer and I'm like, fucking kidding me? It was, and Homer just kind of shakes his head, right? So that's, of course, I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
Hits his next shot. And I'm trying to think of the course. I'm sure you played it, Johnny. It's over in, it's that Lynx course. I can't think of the name of it. Cote does commercials for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anyway, so his next shot goes straight into the woods to the right of where the green is. It's a par 5. So he hits it into the woods. I mean, dead in the middle of the trees. Gets out of the cart. I'm like, Hitch, you only have, nope, I got it, young Derek. No problem. I'll find it. Right on the edge again somehow. Hits the next shot over the green. Oh yeah, over the green, back to the other side of the green. I swear I'm gonna get. So he's hit the ball 4 times now. He's back on the other side of the green, chips it up in 3 putts. So he got like an 8 or 9
for a 5.
I got a par there, boys. Homer goes, what? Are you fucking kidding me? He goes, you hit the ball about 10 times. And it calls him out, and I'm like, oh shit. He's like, no, I found him. He's like, well, Hitch, you just putted it 3 times. He's like, well, the second one was good. He goes, okay, you got a 7 then. Just giving it to him.
Oh man,
it was so. But you know what, Johnny? I think he parred the next 8 holes, and they were legit pars. I'm not kidding you. Like he was good. He was actually good. He did par. He parred the next 7 or 8 holes. Like
doesn't matter. He's still a cheater.
Yeah, he cheated. That's what I said. And I said to Homer, I said, well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, And he goes, fuck that. He goes, we're playing for money. Like, yeah. But it was funny. He's like, I got it. But ball was so far out of bounds, no way he would have found the damn things. But it was pretty funny.
I have seen him take a swing, and it's the most unorthodox swing you ever seen, but he somehow connects with it and drives the thing pretty damn good. It's like a 3-part swing. Yeah. It's like a 3-part swing. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah. But yeah, hey, props to him for crushing it.
we were talking to Max Talbot, Johnny, earlier. He's on our next show as well, and he was talking about his first time he got called up. He goes, man, I walk in, he's like, I'm in the room. I think he said his first game was against the Devils. He goes, I got Johnny LeClair, Mario Lemieux, and then I said something about it, and Sid, he goes, fuck Sid, he was a kid, man. I was looking at these other guys, I was looking at Johnny and Mario and these guys, but I thought that was cool. I forgot it. I wasn't even thinking, man. I mean, I knew you played in Pitt for a short time, but it's funny how like
I try to forget it too, but
well, it's funny because he was opposite. He played in Pitt, won a cup there, and then he ends up in Philly. It was a pretty big deal for him to leave there and go to Philly. But
sure,
you did the opposite. Like Rick Talk did the same thing too, talking it up in Pitt.
Yeah.
After Philly, so it's kind of ironic.
You know what though? I enjoyed like being a part of that team. Like I got to play with all those guys. Like with Sid, Fleury, Malkin, Whitney, Corbin, all those guys that won the cup. Talbot was a Max was a big part of those cups. He was really valuable. The way he killed penalties and checked. I mean, he was a big part of those cup teams. So when I got there, they were all 18, 19. I mean, we were young. And because that lasted, Mario, Palfi, myself, Rex, all that lasted for like a half a year.
Oh, okay.
Mario got sick again and he stopped playing. They traded a bunch of guys. Ziggy Palfi just said, screw it, I'm quitting. I'm out of here. We stink. So the second half of the year, we were really young and all those young guys were getting their time in. And, when I retired after they started winning cups or whatever, but it was kind of fun to watch because, I saw those guys when they first came in, got a chance to play with them, and I was happy for them. Those guys worked really hard to get those cups. Everybody asked about Sid. I mean, the guy works his ass off. He deserves everything he gets. He really does. Yeah. Tremendous player. Obviously, he's more talented than everybody, but he doesn't just sit back. Kid works hard.
Yeah, that's what we keep hearing. That's what Max was saying too, and I think obviously we've heard that before. No secret to his success. Yeah, so it's been interesting to watch him grow, and in that core group too. And well, now he's kind of like now he's like the old guy, and they're kind of almost to the point where they're talking about having a team without him, and it's
that's what Max said. Hopefully 5-10 years.
Yeah, 5.
But I don't know how much time Sid has left, but he obviously takes care of himself, and he doesn't look out of place at all.
He does not.
Watching him. I mean, he's not.
I don't think next year's his last. He doesn't look that way at all.
No chance.
And then it's funny. I was talking to Jeff Carter, Johnny, and he gets traded there at the deadline, and he's lit it up since he got the Christ. He had 4 goals in one game, but he's still got 8 or 9 goals in his. And he's like, it's the weirdest thing, man. He goes, one thing getting traded for the Flyers, but then to be putting this black and gold on, he's like something I just never could imagine. But he loves it there. Yeah, he just told me the other night I talked to him after that game, his 4-goal game, and he was just like, man, it's pretty awesome here. Facilities are obviously great, and
what a pickup.
Yeah, I mean, God, if he stays hot, it's pretty good up the middle there, JL. Their team, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. He goes Sid, Malkin, Carter. It's not a bad lineup.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Right on, Johnny. Well, we appreciate your time. It's awesome to see you. Appreciate your insights and
it's been great catching up with you guys. I haven't seen you guys for a while with this COVID stuff. I mean, hopefully I'll see you at this stuff for House and D.
Yeah, I'll see you sooner than later next month.
Love to see you, man. I gotta say, Johnny, pump your tires a little bit, but I told Riley, I'm like, you're one of the best people to me, man. When you came to Philly.
Yeah, did it. You don't need to say this shit and make up shit. I already did your podcast.
No,
man. You gotta say before to get me on.
No, man. I'm serious. Hey, I'm serious, dude. You're an unbelievable guy. You're an unbelievable career, but fuck, you treated everybody so well, man. And I really appreciate. You did a lot of shit for me when I was a kid. This guy was going to send me to the Final Four of Wake Forest won in the great. They were in that Elite 8, and he knew I was a big Wake Forest guy. It was when they had Tim Duncan and all that. It has nothing to do with hockey, but they were going on the road, and I wasn't traveling. And he said, D, if they win, I'll get you a ticket to the Final Four, man. And they didn't.
That's awesome.
But I know he would have, and he offered it. And but he did a lot of shit for me, not just like that, but just a great guy, man. And we do really, really appreciate your time, Johnny.
No, like I said, it's always fun catching up with you guys. Looking forward to catching up with you guys soon again here too.
All right, brother. We need to get my men's league team against your men's league team. I'm kidding, man.
Let's do it.
You don't want any part of this group.
Hey, we've won 3 in a row.
That's what I mean. I don't think we're on the same level. That's what I'm getting.
I don't think we're on your level. Nobody wants to be trying to get in front of your shot or in front of you for that matter. But anyway, man, thanks again, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Take care.
See you guys.
That episode was brought to you by Settlemyre Skate Sharpening for the best grind in town. All your hockey needs, grind it. And Howie Steele, he's got it. Nasty's got it. Check out settlemyreskatesharpening.com. And for all your cannabinoid nutrition needs, check out bodycheckwellness.com. Want to thank John LeClair for carving out the time. Really appreciate that, Johnny. And what an awesome guy, and what a career. What a hockey player.
He's so funny, you know, talking to him. He's so reserved, and he just acts like, yeah, ho hum career.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, this guy, like, it was funny. You know, obviously, you don't have to say anything nice about me. I'm already doing the show, but like that guy, what a man! Like he was so good to me. You know, I was young when he first got here. Of course, he was pretty young too. But great guy, man. It's such a dominant player. And I know he played with Big E and Renberg, but dude, you still got to put the puck in the net. Like,
oh yeah, you do.
I mean, no matter what,
good at that.
You still have to put it in the net. And that curve of his, we'll have to post a picture for people that haven't seen that stick. I've got a couple of his.
We got it.
I mean, it is unbelievable.
Thing is legendary.
But I tell you what, if he was on the goal line, he could shoot it over the net with that curve. You know, I don't even know if you call it a curve, the wedge. I don't know what you call it. It's not really a curve, but he was a hell of a player, man. And he doesn't give himself enough credit, but
oh yeah. What a big body
he was sick, man.
Yeah. Just finish around the net.
Could you imagine?
You couldn't move him.
Yeah.
Ross, he's got a bomb
Rick,
too, man.
Could you imagine if he fought?
Oh,
his arms, he's got the wingspan of
he's got the wingspan,
tall man. I mean, his
arms are extra long. Yeah. He built to fight. Yeah.
His big hands. Like, I'm just like, God, if he got mad, pissed off at someone and grabbed him, whew.
He didn't need to. You know, the big dogs on the line there. You just grind through and just be a dominant force. But yeah, no, he would have done some damage if he had wanted to tilly it up. But why would you when you're scoring consecutive years 50 plus snipes?
And he's I can imagine the aches and pains he must have, because he played in that time where the cross checks were allowed in front of that. I mean, he's a big man, but there were big men cross checking him too. So,
yeah, that's the truth.
Man, he was a hell of a player.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Nast, that wraps up the episode 23 with Johnny. Be sure to tune in next week, Knuckleheads, for episode 24. Until then, stay safe, have a little fun, enjoy the weather.
See you, Knuckleheads. Howie Steele.